word of prayer. Dear Father, Lord, my God, we are forever thankful for all the wonderful things you do, Heavenly Father. We thank you, Lord, for another opportunity to come today to work with our youth, our young men. Lord God, we ask that you will just bless everything that we're doing, allow what we do to be edification, and Lord, them to learn and grow from this experience. And Lord, my God, we also just ask that you continue to bless us, lead us in the right direction, help us make wise decisions and do things that are pleasing to you, dear Father. Now, Lord, my God, we ask all of this in your blessed Son, Jesus Christ. We're going to open up with some scripture from Proverbs, looking at Proverbs 12. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but maybe go to verse 10. Basically, just wanting to use some instruction, talk about what instruction is, talk about the importance of righteousness and understanding that all of our actions and behaviors affect who we are as men as we grow in life. Proverbs 12, beginning with verse 1, reads, "Whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. A good man obtains favor from the Lord, but a man of wicked intentions he will condemn. A man is not established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous cannot be moved. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsel of the wicked are deceitful. The words of the wicked are, lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright will deliver them. The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous will stand. A man will be condemned according to his wisdom, but he who is of perverse heart will be despised. Better is the one who is slighted but has a servant than he who honors himself but lacks bread. A righteous man regards the life of his animals, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel." In verse 11, "He who tills his land and will be satisfied with bread, that he who follows frivolously is devoid of understanding." Basically, I read this, and I would encourage you to go and read all of Proverbs 12. It's King Solomon, and he's giving instructions to his sons. He's trying to encourage them to understand that the importance of, living a life that reveals righteous character, being a man of standard and character. As young men and as older men, as men in general, it's always important for us to understand that what we do is a reflection of who we are. I cannot say that I'm one way, but my actions reveal something different, because my actions will always speak truth as opposed to what my mouth may say. And so we want to always make sure that what we're doing is reflective of how we live, how we behave, and so forth. So as young men, the things I would encourage you is begin right now practicing. And the reason I use practice is because some things we do, they don't naturally come, because unfortunately we were born in iniquity. So our natural tendency is to go to the left as opposed to going to the right. So it's important for us to understand that if we want to live a certain way, we have to practice doing that. And that means I need to get in a habit of practice telling the truth, even when I want to tell a lie, to maybe just make myself look bigger, make myself feel better, sometimes to impress. And most of the time, like I was, I'm trying to impress a girl. So even if you tend to tell the truth, in the long run, that would be more impressive because your character will always stand higher. So in here, what Solomon is telling his sons is to understand the way of the wicked may seem right, but it will lead you down the path of destruction. Righteousness will always prevail. And at the end of the day, that will reflect your character. And always people will respect, honor, and appreciate that from you. So as you go in life, make good choices, because the choices you make in life determine the life that you live. If you don't believe me, go fly a police officer and see where you'll be tomorrow. Take care.
All right.
Morning. My name is Jerry Sturdivant, and thanks for having me here today for the Kentucky Junior Executives. And it says I'm a production manager. I'm actually retired now. Since November 17. And if somebody's asking me what I did, I said I'm a manufacturing executive retired. And most of my career has been in automotive. Spent 14 years at Toyota. I spent 30 years at General Motors. And my job at General Motors was I was the assistant plant manager at the Saturn plant in Spring Hill, Tennessee, before we came here to Kentucky. So talking about leadership, one of my favorite subjects. I started writing out different things to put on here, but I tell you, I could go on forever, so I had to reduce that. So we're going to talk very briefly about leadership, especially for our young men and women. It's not just for the boys, also for young ladies as well. But definition, it's not for sale. You can't buy leadership. You can be taught leadership, but you cannot go out and buy, well, I'm going to be this. Definition, it says that the action of leading a group of people, activity, or an organization. And leadership is about people. Anything we do, it involves people. And I think as Minister Lee talked about, we're kind of fickle. We're born in iniquity, so we're different. But a big key for a leader is preventing and solving problems. That's what people pay you for. Not just solving, let's not have the problem. Get out from preventing and leading. Next. So you can name some great leaders. Got a couple of young people here. Name me some great leaders. She's hiding back there.
She's got an earphone there. She's got a...
Great leaders, who are they? Everybody likes to say Martin Luther King Jr. was a great leader.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X was a great leader. Was Obama a great leader?
Yeah, Obama.
Hannibal.
Hannibal. He was a leader. What about Hitler?
Yeah.
He was a leader. Led people the wrong way, but he was a leader. Okay.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. So, one of the things about leader, we're going to talk about activists here in a second. But for me, there's just two types of leaders. There's what I call positional and relationships, relational leaders. Position all about power, the boss, the one up front. Relationship about that connection with somebody, that relationship with God. Well, that's my flip on those two types of leaders. Thanks. So the couples attributes of great leaders. Center for Creative Leadership is in, of all my entire career, that's the best leadership training I've ever had. And they're all over the country. They're 4 locations in the United States, but all over the world. Get an opportunity to look at their website. And when you get to the workforce, if your organization ever asks you, do you want to go to the Center for Creative Leadership? You jump down and say yes, I don't care what it takes. It costs $15,000 for a week. But it's still today the best leadership training I've ever had. The nice thing about the end of the training, near the end of the training, you get observation. They observe you the whole time. You get feedback from your boss, your peers, people that are working under you. And you get to spend 4 hours with a psychologist. And they dig deep inside you. So very good opportunities. So I want to got your attributes for leadership, of a great leader. Honesty. Why is that important? You don't want to work for a thief. Ability to delegate. Even though you're the leader, you don't have to do everything. And your job is to develop the people. And in actuality, your job is to work yourself out of a job. Develop the next group of leaders. Communication. You gotta know what you want to get done. Everyone has to be on the same page. Sense of humor. There's nothing worse than going to be around somebody that's not happy. It's not. It's a bad atmosphere. Confidence. If they're afraid, guess what? The organization will be afraid too. And you gotta do what you say. You gotta do what you say. Commitment. Next one. Positive attitude. You want to kill an organization, tell them they're no good. Kill it. Kills everything. Creativity, innovative. You talk about Steve Jobs. I watched the Apple presentation the other day. The incredible organization. They're creative. They know what people want. And the ability to inspire and motivate others. That's what we got to do. We're talking about people. Some people say, can everybody be motivated? Can everybody be motivated? The answer is yes.
Yes.
An example I was given years ago was a guy was on death row. They were on death row, and the warden, they had a warden and a male, and a female assistant warden. And every time the female assistant warden go down, they go crazy, hollering and hollering and everything. So he took her away. She's not going down there anymore until they changed their behavior. Their motivation was to see her. But so everybody can be motivated, even guy on death row. Intuition, you gotta know your people. Who you're trying to encourage and motivate, okay? How you become a great leader? You got to understand what being a leader requires and associated challenges. It's a privilege to be a leader. And it's not always fun. Everybody's not going to be happy with you all the time. Assume additional responsibility without being asked. If you want to be a leader, don't sit around and let everybody take all responsibility. Raise your hand. There's something to be done, even if it's a bad assignment, take the assignment. You'll get great experience. You'll get great knowledge. Take it. Raise your hand. And if you guys still in school, sit in front of the class. Don't sit in the back and sleep. I think it's important for the teacher knows you're interested, and they will give you the extra help that you may need someday. And you'll be able to pay better attention by sitting in the middle or right in the very front of the class. And as a leader, you got to know how to follow and who not to follow. I always enjoy this time of year when kids graduate from high school. You got the cool dude, been cool all 12 years, but don't have a plan after that. And after graduation, he's a nobody. We can't forget about those folks, but that's what happens. But some people follow guys all the way to the 12th grade, but know who not to follow. Don't be a glory hound. Oh, it's me, it's me, it's me. None of us do anything by ourselves. Be a team player. Read. There's some great leadership books out there. The best one's the Bible. But I read Fast Company, Business Week. Probably one of the better ones is expensive. It was Harvard Business Review. It's expensive, so borrow it. It's real expensive. Listen. Listen to other people. We can always learn from somebody else. We don't know everything. Study. Study that word. And Minister Lee said, practice. Practice your skills. Practice. Like I said, we don't know everything. Get yourself a mentor. And be that person that leaders want to mentor. Most people don't want to mentor knuckleheads.
Right.
So be that person people want. I want to mentor her or him. I want to be, that's the one. Okay? And in leadership, there's something called, people call mentorship and also sponsors. Mentor is the person directly mentoring you. There's someone out there what they call a sponsor, like 2 levels ahead of you. You normally never know who that sponsor is. But all the time, that sponsor looking out for you. You may never know it. And so it's you, the mentor, that sponsor. I've identified 2 or 3 organizations down level in the organization. That's the one to be our next CEO. That's the one. And that's how the process works. So everybody don't have a sponsor. I always say you can't talk yourself out of something you behave yourself into. That came from Stephen Covey. So you gotta do your best behavior all the time. You never know who that guy walking down the street saying you're acting a fool. Then a year from now, you got a job interview in the area he or she is. They remember that. High school and college campus always just observe how these kids behave. Always observe. So everybody looking. Next. So this is the thing I learned, early career skills pyramid. When you get out of school, or whatever your skill may be, you get all these skills. You got all these skills you gotta have. But if you want to advance in leadership, you have a small amount of skills with people. It's small. That's early in your career. But you want to go with that to your knowledge. I want to learn all I can about my job, the best journalist, the best engineer, the best lawyer, the best teacher. You got all these technical skills, professional skills. But as you advance in your career, next one, it changes. You get the technical skills, but if you want to be a leader, those people skills got to advance. That's got to grow. Because if you're doing your job as a leader, you got other people do this technical stuff now. You got other people that can do that. Okay, next. Some things to remember. Like I said, I do a lot of reading. Norman Schwarzkopf was leader during Desert Storm, and that guy's Colin Powell's boss. That's what he was. He said bad news does not get better with age. If you got a problem, tell somebody. And if you're a leader, let the people know if there's something bad happening. Don't hold it back from them. Because it's going to get out and you're going to say, why didn't you tell me? We talk about you can't talk yourself out of something you behave yourself into, that behavior thing. You know, I look at our youth and they look at us. What are we doing? We're supposed to be the example. So that's very, very important. And so if you got there and act crazy, you get to the workforce, basically I know at where I used to work at, on your salary, you're on the clock 24/7. Whatever you do, it impacts you. You can get fired for going out there getting drunk. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
So that behavior is very important. Next. Skill get you hired, your payment get you fired. Great engineer, oh, you gotta have him or her. But now you got fired for sexual harassment, discrimination, stealing. So that behavior is very important, be on your best behavior. And there's those things out there called unwritten rules. Nobody tells you what, I mean, they're not written down, but somebody knows what they are. Ask what those are. And when you think the situation is really bad, not to discount your stuff is not bad, but someone out there in the world doing worse than you do today. People are sniveling, oh, woe is me. It may not be that bad. I always say thank you when someone else does something nice for you. It's okay to say, I don't know, and eventually he said, don't lie. If you don't know, you say, I don't know. You get more credibility by that, but by faking something. Please don't lie. Yes, next. Be the first one to say I'm sorry, even though it's not your fault. Be the first one to say I'm sorry as a leader. And we'll crush all the other stuff, like putting hot coals in our head. That stops all that. Success is significant practice. Success to me is, I've had a good career. So how can I significantly impact someone else now, some younger person? And all of us have had successes, young and old. So when you get something up, that great happens to you, or do something good, share it. Teach somebody else how to do that. Knowledge is power, share the power. Okay, next. But this one here, that's the greatest one to me, for a leader to be humble. A reverence for God and respect for others. Resist the pull of pride. Remember who you are. Remember your journey. Remember to see God. That one here is hard for leaders to do, to be humble. But a lot of you have egos. That's the most important one to me. All the attributes is stay humble, and you'll be fine. Okay? But that's it. I think it is. Questions or comments?
Can you go in more detail about that the sponsorship and the mentor thing? That's been kind of confusing to me sometimes. I didn't know. Is a sponsor also a mentor? A mentor also a sponsor? I mean,
no, the sponsor is not a mentor. The sponsor could be, for example, I'll just use a manufacturing for example. You have a general manager. You have a young engineer down here. You have a general manager and a mentor. The sponsor is the president of the company. I like that young engineer down there, him or her. We're gonna make sure we get plenty exposure, we can make presentations, they do the trips, give them the right training. But I've identified him or her as, that's gonna be my replacement. It may be 20 years from now, I'm gonna do everything I can in my power to make sure they get all the right stuff in front of them. That's how they did it. We don't always have that. So that sponsor is very, you may never know who that sponsor is. But what you find though, you see them around you all the time, always talking to you, letting you do presentations for them. That's the guy or the lady.
Is that always within the company, or
no?
I mean, can we?
No.
I mean, what can we do to become like a sponsor or a mentor?
There's outside organizations and any organization. You know, I still have people that I use that are mentors to me that I'm working. So my job now is who's that next young person I can help also. I can help people get jobs. I can help them write resumes. I can help them do the interview training. For example, you know, I work for Will James. You know, Will's retired, but I can still reach out to him. And he has connections too. Even, for example, we're doing the summer enrichment program. The pastor knows people too. He reached out to our former Mayor Gray and said, hey man, can you help me? There's always these connections out there. That answer your question?
Are you guys doing any sponsorships or mentorships now on y'all's businesses? Got any folks you guys?
I'm mentoring the community with the young at the middle school community, but I'm not responsible for the kids.
Yeah. I doesn't know yet.
But even I know, like for pastors are sponsor too for some of these young pastors out there, that next generation of pastors.
Right.
It happens. Hey, Reverend Coleman, he's 94? He's a big sponsor. He knows them all. But his word says a lot.
It sounds like sponsors, person's got the resources, money, time, energy,
And connection.
the stuff you need, the connection.
Yes. Absolutely. But a mentor is very important too. I might tell you, like go left or go right. You gotta make wise decisions. I already tell the kids when school's out, make wise decisions in the summer. Good question, Derek.
I mean, this is a great material. Appreciate you sharing. I'm sure that we talk about people act or behave like they think. What could you share with us in your experience on maybe examples that you've seen on how people think and how to affect
The behavior thing?
Yeah, when you talk, I mean, because the slide that talked about behavior, I thought that was good. You did a good job with it. So we've heard
I
you say
had a young man one year. He was brother, three chemical engineer. We made the job offer. And he turned us down. I'm like, what? Man, we sponsored you for 3 years. You turned us down. Okay, we lost him. And so about 6 weeks later, his dad called and said, hey, I want to talk to you. That kid, he wants to come and work for you all. I said, well, have him talk to me. And so what happened, he took a job with another company. He failed a drug test. And he knew he didn't pass out. That's why he turned us down. So that's another thing. Everybody around here, all this legalized marijuana, guess what? Most companies say, you still gonna take a drug test. You fail out of here.
Period.
I mean, what tell, and people lie about it. Well, it was my boyfriend and my girl, she was smoking it. No, we done went back 6 months to check your hair and your urine. It was you. Everybody makes it.
I think a lot of those traits you're talking about, that's not only on the job, that's what your whole life.
Absolutely.
24 hours a day. And if you become that, through practice, then it comes built in your faith. In your faith, that carry you, because I think morally, all of us are hiding something or have a desire to do wrong in some area, whether it be sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever. But we need to face those things to become a better person. And then it not only helps our job, it helps our family life, as a parent, on down the line.
Yes. There's life skills.
Yeah.
You asked about behavior things, and so especially for young men, sex harassment thing. Be careful what you say and how you treat young ladies. You're going to jail, bro. You know it's not true. It may not be true, but just the thought. There's smoke, there's fire. I mean, my first 6 months into it, I had to fire 3 guys that were sexual harassment. And nobody addressed it. And when a woman comes and tells you as a leader, or man now, you got to address it right now. So he just gives it if you don't address it. Darren, you have a question?
Yes, and this is the perfect slide right here, because that's what I was going to talk about. The great leader habits and saying I'm sorry. So like I said, you did a great job, but you got to talk about ego. Be the first to say I'm sorry. Great leaders, where a lot of times they place the blame. Of course, you and I, we grew up in a culture, and it wasn't about the blame, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter, what happened. It's like, how do you prevent it? How would you advise us? And you talk about it being humble. I guess I'm looking for, an example that you can share with us.
Before I get into it, I worked at Saturn. I told my wife, if I reach the point where I don't like my job, I'm leaving. I had a great job. I I was sitting behind the whole plant. Great job. I enjoy going to work every day. And that's not a good experience, not enjoying going to work the way you like it. It's not enjoyable. And people around you see it. So I had to step away. I had to humble myself. You know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to teach school. That was my plan, to go to teach school before Toyota called. But to give up that, I mean, the money, the job, I mean, and we're going to live in Tennessee forever. But I had to say, you know what? I'm not happy. I'm affecting other people's lives. It's not good for my health. It's not good for my family. I'm going to step away. That's hard to do, man. Especially when the wife said, what are you doing? But I told her, I said, if I'm not happy with what I'm doing, I'm out. It's not fair to me, it's not fair to people that work. It's not fair. And I tell you, stress will kill her, man. Stress is a killer. Oh yeah, well.
in your leadership, I know we talk and spend a lot of time about sexual harassment. And do we spend time, or do you have any examples of racism, how to handle it, how to cope with it, how to deal with it in the job, on the job? Because as far as our young black men, they need to know about sexual harassment, but they need to know about how to handle those situations too.
One thing I say about racism, or either one of those, you gotta document what happened.
If you don't, you didn't.
You gotta document. And call it out. You know, the opportunity I had in Toyota, you know, I sit on a lot of committees, and so we started hiring people. And I made sure there was somebody on that we were hiring that had, you know, a person of color, female. Otherwise, it's go on. You gotta call it out. But documentation is the key, like it didn't happen. And everybody got these video cameras and all this other stuff, but documentation is the key. Who said it when they said it? And if it's repeated, let me tell a story.
And I think our young boys, our young men, need to know how to handle and how to respond. Sometimes responding in such a negative way that it overcomes what actually happened. I tell my boys that if you marry or you're dealing with women, they may provoke you. As soon as you lay a hand on them, all that other stuff don't matter. And sometimes when we respond, it brings a negativity on what's the real problem.
You're right, but I think instead of reacting, you need to respond. Don't react, respond in a positive way. Sometimes you gotta walk away from the situation.
Right.
Don't put no hands on nobody, male or female. Once that starts, they've got everything you do.
Changes everything. Yep, changes the whole.
You mentioned it.
So the last thing to say, you know, about being leaders, we all know not everyone's going to be a leader.
Right.
But would you suggest that every person should carry themselves and act as if they're striving to be a leader?
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Learn how to follow.
Right.
And who to follow.
Right.
Absolutely. But we need leaders. I look around our church. I mean, we're old.
Yeah.
So who are those young guys, young ladies that want to be leaders? I would give them the opportunity. That's key.
Is Christian leadership, the principles of being a Christian leader, does it correspond 100% to being a good, you know, business leader like a Toyota? Is it? I mean, is every situation of the leadership response, is it the same being a Christian person?
To me, it's the same.
So you.
To me, it's the same.
You pretty much.
There's
no situation that's came up where you've had to decide, you know, how I was taught to respond to this as a leader. It's not the Christian way of responding to this as being a leader. Does that come up, or has your life just been pretty much, you pretty much just try to stick the Christian way of leadership in his work?
You know, one of my friends used to tell me, he's a deacon down in Tennessee, he said, man, it's hard being a Christian at work. But some companies don't allow any Christian talk. They don't allow it.
That's right.
And I told her, I didn't care. We're gonna have it. We had Bible study at work at lunchtime.
Yep.
So hey, to me it wasn't any different. And they need my walk. They need. I remember Jeremy was on.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came to it and I said, I want y'all to know I love the Lord. People were like, what? They were shocked. And they're like, I'm glad you said it because I wanted to say it. We could have said it anyway. They were scared. And finally, so Toyota had something called Toyota Christian Fellowship now, a Christian organization. TCF. So they finally got something. A lot of organizations did it. But no, to me, you can't be on the fence.
Well, what you're saying a lot of times, the problem is that the fear of not doing it. It's not that with some companies, it's not ever done because no one has ever been bold enough to stand up and do it. And once it happens, the pushback often is not as bad because there's a large number of people who have the same viewpoint, but no one was courageous enough to step out and say it. Once it's been said and so forth, and especially from a person who's in a leader position, other people then become empowered, become emboldened.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Some organizations, they ain't had it.
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, like Brother Sturgeon said, the Bible teaches us all that you do in word or deed, do as unto the Lord. So you say that there is no gray. It's black and white. Jesus said, whether you be hot or cold, because you want to spit you out. So I remember, I do remember that. Whenever you come home and you say that, I remember. Obviously, we spent some time.
It sounds like it.
Oh yeah. I did. I put in 20 years for my brother. Wow. Yeah. I remember when Brother Sturgeon came in.
He's a good leader now.
Yeah.
He's good.
And everything he said, I can relate to. I remember, and whenever I left, I mean, some of the stuff they talked about with some other companies, not. I mean, I went to one place and you said, "Hey, not liking your work." It makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. And you talk about leadership, and I know I was in one spot where I was the only minority. And so whenever I say the only minority, I mean only black person, only black male, the only no women. This is for keep it real, white men, right? And it was just a different environment. And I would say some things that was like, well, we don't do that here. It's happening. I don't feel.
You're the right person to do this, Brother Sturgeon, because in my relationship with you, from the first time I met you and some of the stuff I dealt with you, do you think, and you show it in a tender, humble, and it can be aggressive, but that you let people know where you stand? And I think that's a real base for a man. Don't be wishy-washy, don't follow. But I can value a man. We may not be on the same side, to know where you stand. And still in the same process, we accomplish a goal. And I think leaders need to have that. Yeah, we need to be humble. We need to be able to work with others. And we talk about a lot of giving. But some point, even in our families, in our church, in life, we need to know, we need to be firm on some stuff. Yeah. And don't wait from some. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hate to be in a group of men to make a decision. You got some that won't make a stand. They wait on, I'm gonna vote with somebody else. You see what I'm saying? You know, we may not be on the same side, but you let me know where you stand. I'm letting you know. So when we walk out the door, there's no wishy-washy. And I think
we threw that term around a little bit.
Yeah, I think we spend a lot of time comforting people.
Yeah.
But being demanding too. In that aspect. And I know Brother Sturgeon has that value. I've dealt with him on some things that he showed me. I said, hey, he said where he stood, but he didn't hurt nobody's feelings. And I have a problem with that. Sometimes when I express myself, it comes out forcive or, you know, ruling or whatever. But he's shown me that in the way he talks and the way he carries himself, and I appreciate that.
And we got, you know, a lot of men around that carry themselves that way. And we need, you know, things to bring in together so we can all talk and share and see that example. You know, it's beautiful because I got an uncle that's like that. He's very, very soft spoken, but you know, from the time we've been around him and how he carries himself, you know, we have that true, you know, godly reverence and fear of him. You know, when we as a family decide to do something, we're always like, what's Uncle Bernard gonna think of that? You know, and it's not a thing he's gonna come in there and start going crazy, but because of the way he's always done things, trying to do things the right way, Christian way, think about what you're doing, get your resources together, don't do it haphazardly, don't be in there messing around, you know. We think about that when we're doing stuff as a family. So, well, Bernard ain't gonna go for that. So we either say, well, we better not do it then. Yeah. Or we'll go, well, he'll definitely like this, or somebody will volunteer. Let's go discuss it with him and make sure he feels good about it. He might not have nothing to do with it, but it's just, you know, because we have seen great leadership and been around it and how they carry themselves and not all crazy with it, it gives us that example. And it makes us stronger and more brave to be that way.
There's growing in that and working in that. Wisdom does it too. But y'all remember years ago they had a commercial when E.F. Hutton speaks. Oh yeah. That just rude. I said, if I could be like him, I'd speak. Everybody listen. That's Brother Thurman sometimes. I think of that commercial when he speaks sometimes and E.F. Hutton speaking, you better listen.
Yeah.
And that's part of being a leader. That's part of being wise and walking in such a way people respect what you say.
They want to listen to that wise dude.
But the thing that he has said that allows him to do that is he studies, he reads, you know, because it's I'll listen to someone, but you have to have substance for me to listen. If you don't have substance, because there's lots of people who present themselves in a way that they will speak fine and so forth, but they're saying nothing, and they. And it quickly turns you off to the point, and so that's the difference. Is like, you know, so you know, from my, you know, short term and getting to know Brother Sturgeon, I too find myself moving up in my chair to make sure I don't miss what he's saying. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But that comes from how he carries himself. So, and the other thing that he does that I'm impressed by is not that he is at no point trying to say, you know, you need to listen. It's just, I'm speaking matter-of-factly, and you can get from this if you want to, but if you don't, it's just put out here for you. Yeah. And that's what you can appreciate and respect. And I'm saying, but that's come from also what he has done in order to be prepared to speak. Because you can't speak if you don't have nothing to say. Yeah. And that's the problem I find. There's too many times in church and everywhere else, there's people who are speaking. But it's nothing. It's of no value. It's like, you know, I'm getting, be honest, waiting for him to shut up like that, right? I'm just dismiss you because you have no substance. And so that's the difference is too. In order to have that, you have to put in the time, energy, and effort to pour back into it.
See, like I said, you all just get to know him. I had the privilege of knowing him for many years, and one of the things that you know, stood out, just like whenever he come in, I remember when he said it, I was like, man. So what I want to share is just the importance of these young men seeing, you know, men that look like them. I know everybody that look like them because I got to see Brother Sturgeon. I got to see Will James. I remember, he was a CEO. He was the president of Toyota. I got to talk to him and see him as he went from general manager. Then he went out to TABC and then he came back. And I got to see that and the difference that he made. And something that you said, like I said, learn from Brother Sturgeon, just seeing others. And I'm just being transparent. Those were the ones with Brother Sturgeon and Will James. There were some other ones that were kind of, where's the road? Yeah, I'll be good.
God's been good to me, to my family, and during the trip and study, you talk about providence.
Mm-hmm.
When I think back all the men that I saw and women and, that helped me along the way, and I got to observe some good leaders.
Right.
And not all African American, but a lot of them were. The first mentor I ever had, he just died in life. For instance, 93-year-old Mr. Burroughs.
Okay.
And I grew up in the hood in Dayton, Ohio. But Mr. Burroughs had a nice house. Mr. Burroughs went to work with a briefcase and a suit on. Like, man, who's this? He did a college degree, and he was a captain. He was a retired Air Force guy, and he was a colonel in the reserves. But he always took us boys, man, and sat us down and said, "You need to do this." And every time, let me see report cards. And my parents would say, he wants, "I want to see a report card. What else you doing? If you ain't doing great, you ain't playing no sports. Forget it." So he checked up on me. But those guys, I look back, when I think back all the guys that mentored me, God put all the people in my life for a reason, man. I can go way back. And that providence, I mean, like, I learned a lot from some different people. I used to work for a guy inside Herman Moss. He's a white guy. And Herman never cussed you. Family man. And every day, the plant ran, we didn't stop running until 5 o'clock. But at 4 o'clock, he said, "I'm going home and don't call me until the plant burned down. Unless it burned down. That's your job to run the plant." So he taught me.
Right.
You know all about people, man. He said, I'm gonna develop you. He's one of the that set up for greater leadership. He did that.
Right.
And he was hard on me, man. Hard. But I learned. When he first came and said, "Y'all gonna hate me for a year, y'all gonna hate me." And we did, but for the next 4 years, I loved the man. We're good friends now.
Yeah.
But I look back, I learned that class about detours, man. About that taught me a lot. I mean, a lot about detours and stuff. That was good stuff. That's all I got, man.
Can you go into detail about that success to significance?
Yeah.
I keep the word perfection keeps coming to my mind.
It's not perfection.
I know we can't get to that, but what is it? What do you mean by success to significance in that?
Actually, there's a ministry in Indianapolis called Success to Significance.
Okay.
But I heard that before. For me, I've had success in my career.
Yeah.
So the next thing is, how can I make a significant impact on somebody else's life? I'm involved with the youth. I like going out to community middle schools. I like working with the kids. So that's the job. You take your success. You done all you can do now. Share with somebody else. Everybody here has some success. How do you get that young man or young lady? How do you help them to be your replacement? We ain't gonna be here forever. We're not. I'm 66 now. I look at things a whole lot different than I did when I was 35.
Right.
I do. I got a granddaughter now. I mean, hey, I'm trying to do things for her.